Hey there, and welcome back to the Fave Self CEO podcast. I'm your host, Kayla Evans, and it is the day after TEDx Winnipeg 2026. It is 2 in the afternoon, and let me tell you, it is actually taking me this long for my eyes to fully open and my brain to start working again. It has been the most incredible week. And honestly, even before this week, it really has been the most incredible 6 months watching this entire process unfold. From the moment this year's speakers first applied to give a TEDx talk, and then they pitched their ideas, they were accepted, we matched them up with us coaches, we worked through rehearsals and edits and nerves and breakthroughs. It's been about 6 months of extremely hard work, and I'm sure a lot of stress and certainly a lot of anxiety and a lot of vulnerability and a lot of back and forth and a lot of teamwork and a lot of coming together. And all of that work just culminated yesterday in one of my most favorite events I have ever been a part of in my entire life. And I know that's cliche, but it just really is. This was my second year as a speaker coach for TEDx, and truly one of the most rewarding experiences I have ever had. I love it so freaking much. And if you're new to the show or unfamiliar with my background, I spent the last 20 plus years as a professional speaker. I've done everything TV and radio hosting to professional sports teams. I MC events. I speak on stages. And through my business, Fave Self CEO, I coach people on public speaking and confidence, keynote storytelling and TEDx talks. So as much as I do truly love being on stage and in the spotlight in front of an audience, I really love being behind the scenes, coaching, supporting, cheering people on, watching somebody grow into themselves in real time. So yeah, for me, TEDx is something that I look forward to every single year, and it just keeps getting better and better. And getting this opportunity to coach people through this process and see this transformation that happens over those 6 months, honestly, there aren't even words for it. And even when my brain isn't so mushy, I still don't even have words for it. I probably have no business being on a microphone right now because honestly, my brain, she's pretty mushy and my emotions are still extremely raw. I cried a lot yesterday. Good tears. Everything went better than I could have even hoped for. But I've got my trusty Coke Zero beside me, and I just really wanted to capture this, however it comes out, messy, raw, whatever, while it's still fresh in my brain, because there are 3 things that really stood out to me this year. And the more I started thinking about it over the last few days, Wednesday was our dress rehearsal, Thursday, yesterday was the big day, and then today is kind of a recap day. I have found that there's 3 things to be really, really true, not only this year, but last year, which was my first year coaching TEDx, and then all throughout even my own speaking career and with the clients I work with as well. And honestly, whether or not you ever want to be a TEDx speaker, right? Whether you ever want to step on a stage or speak in front of a crowd, yes or no, I think these are actually lessons that apply to all of us, especially if you're somebody who's really into personal growth or professional development, creativity, building your confidence, or becoming your fave self, your favorite version of yourself. So before I get into those 3 things, I do want to give a massive shout out to everybody that was involved in TEDx. Obviously, they were freaking phenomenal. We had 15 speakers. Every year the cast is so good, but this year I was really impacted in the best way possible. I just want to mention everybody. You are all freaking rock stars, but especially the 3 women that I had the opportunity to work with most closely. Emily Erickson. Oh, I don't even have words, but I'm going to try. Absolutely blew me away. I have so much love and respect for her. It's unreal. I still remember the moment she walked in to give her pitch. She draws attention. She just has this presence that captures you in the best way possible. She is stunning physically. She's freaking brilliant. And she's so smart and so kind. She really is the total package. She's thoughtful, and oh my gosh, I cannot wait for you to see her talk when all of them are released online, because she was incredible. She nailed it. It couldn't have been more perfect. And not that I'm the be all end all, but again, I have 20 plus years experience. I would not have changed a single thing about her talk. She nailed it. Oh my gosh, just love her. And then Susie Friesen, who I actually met years ago through my work at True North with the Jets and the Moose. We had the opportunity to reconnect more recently through some Project 11 stuff, and then obviously through TEDx. And she's the kindest person I've ever met. Like the nicest person ever. In these extreme pressure-filled situations, she is still full of so much love and grace and compassion. I can't imagine her ever snapping at somebody or biting their heads off, which, to be honest, we all do from time to time. I just can't imagine that with her. She's so kind, and she's not only kind, but she's this really beautiful balance of somebody who deeply cares for others, but also takes care of herself. And I think a lot of us struggle with that, right? We want to give to our families, our communities, and our work, but we may be constantly putting ourselves on the back burner. She gives so much, but she also takes care of herself and her family and the way she prioritizes her girls, her children. She's just such an inspiring human being. Like, I want to be like Emily and Susie when I grow up. Like, I just love them so much. And then Jan English. I kid you not, this woman is an actual astrophysicist. Like, literally part of the Hubble Space Telescope team. Are you freaking kidding me? She is one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. She is so grounded, though. Like, she could rule the world. Like, Order of Canada. What? She's phenomenal. And you would never know she has these credentials that just like blow you out of the water. She's so grounded. She's so lovely. She's like edgy, like punk rock, just fun. Like, I love these women so much. And I just loved being in their energy. And honestly, like I say, all the speakers were phenomenal human beings. But for me, being surrounded by such brilliant, strong, thoughtful women throughout this whole process, it just made this whole experience incredibly meaningful to me. And there are, even though, yes, I was their coach, there are parts of Emily and Susie and Jayanne that I am planning and hopefully will be integrating into my own life, because I learned from them just how they are as human beings. Like, I could go on for hours about just how much I love those three. And really, I mean, a huge shout out to the entire TEDx Winnipeg team, like our volunteers, all the organizers, the audience, like all of you who came out to support the event, and the University of Manitoba for hosting us again this year, second year in a row. It was just incredible. And when the talks are released online through TEDx, like we recorded them yesterday, they're going to be edited. Anya's our incredible editor. Again, like everybody involved, I just cannot say enough good things. I'm absolutely going to share them over on my social media, because people need to see these ideas and these speakers. And also, if you were there yesterday, you know exactly what I'm trying to jab my jaws about. Go follow the speakers on their social media. Follow TEDx Winnipeg for sure, at TEDx Winnipeg on LinkedIn and Instagram. Oh, just so good. So good. But okay, let's get into the biggest things that TEDx kind of reminded me of this year. I'm just going to take a quick sip. Okay, let's go. First lesson, or I guess point, I don't really call them lessons, but like the first point that really came to me very early in this process. And it is, how you start is not how you finish. How you start is not how you finish. And we're really talking about transformation here, which not only happens when you're preparing for something like a TEDx talk, but honestly, throughout your entire life in all sorts of different little ways, whether that is public speaking or personal growth or building a business, growing your career, figuring out your own personal style, right? Your closet, getting stronger in the gym, learning how to cook better. Whatever it is, how you start is not how you finish. But you have to stay committed to something and keep giving it your best, right? You're going to have these moments of transformation, but it's going to come over time. And the first time this really became apparent to me was while working with TEDx speakers this year, and last year too as well. But this is really true for most of my coaching clients as well. When you first start a speech or a talk or a creative project, you usually have some sort of idea of what it's going to be, right? Like, you have this vision of what you want it to become. But then as you continue to work on it and your confidence grows and you become more clear on your idea, especially if you work with me, I am huge on clarity, right? Clarity is queen. And you start trusting yourself more, and you start trusting your coach or your trainer more. And then you start to rehearse more, and your delivery develops and your skills get stronger. You grow. You grow when you stay in the process. And when you stay committed to that process, things are going to change. You are going to change. Right? You may start off feeling really uncertain. Your first few drafts or attempts at something, especially if you're brand new to it, probably going to be a little rough. Like, you're probably going to stink when you first start something new. We almost always go through it, right? And we also almost always go through that stage of overthinking. We feel really awkward. Then you throw in your nerves and your anxiety into the mix, and suddenly, you've got this whole little circus freak show happening in your brain. But if you stick with it, you overcome so much of that through the process. And not only does your talk or your project transform, or your business or your hobby, but you transform. However, in order to experience that growth, right, you have to stay in it long enough to transform. Do not quit when it feels awkward. Do not quit when it feels hard. Do not quit when you feel like a hot mess, because let me tell you, we've all been there. We've all gone through it. I want you to stay in it. That's where the growth happens. That's where the transformation happens. And it isn't just true for the people I coach, it's true for me too. If you were to go back and watch my very first television hit, it is not great. Let me tell you, it is real bad. Real bad. The first few events I hosted, probably super awkward, probably visibly nervous, shaken up there like a leaf. When I first started coaching, oh yeah, let me tell you, stepping into that role, I was crazy awkward. My first podcast episode, my first Instagram videos, any of us showing up online for the first time, probably not great, but we get better when we stay in it. And watching our speakers go from nervous first rehearsals to standing confidently on that TEDx stage in front of hundreds and hundreds of people yesterday, that was such a huge reminder that growth happens in the doing. You just have to trust yourself long enough to stay in it, long enough to give yourself the gift of transformation. All right, there you go. The second thing that really stood out to me throughout this whole TEDx process was commitment creates confidence. And this, my friend, is also known as what you put into something is what you get out of it. And this applies to every area of life. When I watch speakers on any stage, in any arena, the people who tend to have the best experiences are usually the ones who fully commit themselves to the process. And by that, I mean they rehearse. Oh, I'm big into practicing. If you've ever worked with me, you know it. We need to practice. We need to get those reps in. We need to rehearse. They stay engaged. They accept feedback. They work with our coaches, right? They immerse themselves in the experience. They walk and they talk and they act like a speaker, like a performer. They connect with other speakers and they stay present. That's probably the biggest thing. They stay present even when they're scared, even when they're anxious, even when they're nervous. Like the anxiety and nerves, sometimes they don't go away, especially if you're on a stage as grand and impressive as TEDx. You may be shaking the entire 6 to 10 minutes you're up there. But when you're able to stay present in the moment instead of disconnecting from that experience entirely, you're going to create a very different experience for yourself than if you were to stay disconnected or frozen in fear the whole time. And honestly, if you're somebody who does any sort of creative work, and if you're listening to this podcast, you probably are, or if you're an aspiring speaker or somebody who wants to just put themselves out there more in life in general, I gotta tell you, confidence is not passive, right? It's a skill and we can build it. Those skills are built through participation. Emily and I had this joke about participation. No, participating. You have to participate. You build your confidence by getting the reps in, right? You need to get it in your body. You need to feel it in your bones. Repetition matters. We're talking embodiment, right? You are that speaker. You are that message. That's your message. You know it in your bones. You feel it in your body. Most of the time when we're talking about something, we're either the expert in it or it's our lived experience. It's our story. And you need to trust it enough to stand up there and do the thing, deliver it, right? And honestly, I could probably use Taylor Swift as an example for absolutely everything in my life at this point. Side note, I even bought myself a little Taylor Swift gift at the TEDx Makers Market yesterday. So this theme is there. I'll show it on my Instagram stories. It's so cute. And I'll tag the creator as well. I absolutely love this thing. It's a magnet. It's a Taylor Swift magnet. I'm very into it. But what's my point? Oh, if you've ever watched the Eras Tour or seen her live, she makes it look effortless, like she was born to do it, right? And I mean, yeah, absolutely. She was made for it, but she also put in the work. She's rehearsed for months. She trained for that tour. She practiced over and over and over and over again. And that's what allows somebody to get on that stage and create an experience that feels natural and effortless for the audience watching. It looks easy because of the work behind the scenes. And I don't really think I'm that kind of coach that's going to blow a whistle at you and scream at you and make you cry. That's not my vibe. But I do believe if you're stepping into a huge life moment, if you're speaking on a TEDx stage, I mean, that's a pretty huge freaking life moment. You deserve to actually experience it. I want you to be there. I want you to be present in that moment. And if you're somebody who procrastinates, I'm a procrastinator. We've all been there. Or maybe you're avoiding the process or you're avoiding the work because you're terrified. That's normal. That's natural. However, you're probably not going to have a great experience. You need to overcome that. We want you to enjoy these moments. We want you to actually be there mentally, emotionally, physically, no matter how freaked out you are. We're not trying to torture people by putting them up there on a big stage. What we want is for them to experience one of the best moments of their lives. Sounds dramatic, but yes, giving a TEDx talk to anybody who gave a TEDx talk. It's one of the best moments of their lives because it's terrifying, right? Public speaking is scary. And a lot of these talks are super vulnerable. And when you're able to share your experience with your communities on stage and then afterwards, especially through video and on the YouTube channel, that's huge. And another thing that TEDx really reminded me of is how much community matters too. Yes, repetition, embodiment, preparation, but community matters too. Lean on each other, right? Each year, the 2 years I've been involved, the TEDx cast becomes like family. They cheer for each other. They're in rooms with each other who they're all growing at the same time, right? And I watched so many of the TEDx speakers, mine included. We got together outside of rehearsals and we practiced together as a group. And the coaches, we collaborated too. We co-coached. We gave each other feedback. We had these big group rehearsals every few weeks. It wasn't just one person alone trying to figure everything out in a vacuum. And I think that support and that shared energy helps so much more than people realize. So commit as fully as you can to the thing you're doing, because yes, you may still be nervous, you may still be scared, you may be absolutely freaking terrified to stand on a stage in front of 400 plus people like they did yesterday. But you know what's going to make it a whole lot easier and a whole lot more fun? Committing yourself fully to the process. You got to do it. All right. So my first point was how you start is not how you finish. Transformation. Boom. My second point was commitment creates confidence. And then my third point, I'm just going to take another quick sip. Oh, that's too good. I'm definitely having 2 or 3 today. Being yourself is what makes people connect to you. Yeah, I know. Honestly, that's not a surprise to anybody who has worked with me or knows me. That's pretty much the entire ethos behind my company, Fave Self CEO. That's how I coach. That's the lens I look at life through. I don't want anybody to feel like they need to become some perfectly polished, flawless, otherworldly version of themselves. I want people to feel comfortable and happy being who they are, their favorite versions of themselves. I heard that phrase years and years and years ago. Be your favorite version of yourself. And it just hit me right in the heart, and it has stuck with me ever since then. That's why my company is called Fave Self CEO. And that's the thought that I had when I left my corporate TV radio career to start my own company. I was tired of being this picture-perfect, polished TV robot anchor. I wanted to become my fave version of myself, and that's what I did. And I believe that you are the CEO of your own life, and I want you to feel like your fave self. Not the version of you that is perfect every single second of the day, never makes mistakes, has everything flawlessly put together all the time. Nah, I want you to feel like the version of yourself that's real and grounded and happy and connected to who you actually are. Because let me tell you, audiences connect to humanity, not perfection. And 100%, yes, a lot of these TEDx speakers were absolutely flawless. And I'm not saying we shouldn't chase the best output, right? We want to do the best we can, obviously. Duh, I got that. And some of them deliver their talks from beginning to end without missing a beat. And I am talking the perfect pacing, perfect inflection, beautiful movement, amazing outfits, hair, makeup, flawlessly. Like, I could have not asked for better performances. It was amazing. But there were also moments where some of the speakers had to pause, had to regroup. There were moments where somebody had to restart a line. There were moments when emotions hit, especially when the talks were deeply personal and vulnerable. And honestly, that's the whole point. All of these speakers, I would like to believe, were standing on that stage as their favorite versions of themselves. The way they dressed, the stories they chose to tell, right? Their personalities, their humor, their quirks. Now, let's be real. If you're going to get up on a TEDx stage in front of hundreds of live people and then hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of viewers online, you're a little quirky. Like, that's just the truth. You're doing something that not a lot of people do. You're a quirky human and we love you. You know, they're sharing their emotional truths. And I'm not just talking about like authenticity in the cliche Instagram, LinkedIn way that we hear all the time. I mean, your actual personality, like the weird little things that make you you. That's what audiences connect to. And there were so many moments yesterday where people in the audience started crying. There were moments I started crying and I already knew what the talks were about. Like I was sitting there in the front row with the scripts feeding people lines. I knew the talks and I still started crying. Emily made me choke up. At the very end of her talk, she talks about her grandmother and herself. And there's this beautiful photo she shares. And like, I'm getting goose pimples right now just thinking about it. I cannot wait for people to see these talks. I started to get choked up. Susie, when she talked about her mom and she referenced her aunt, she made me cry. Our last speaker of the day, Ian, spoke about his dad. And my own dad, Grant, was sitting in the audience yesterday and it hit me in this completely unexpected way. And I started crying again. And what was so powerful was that none of these speakers were trying to perform emotion. They weren't trying to, manipulate us into tears. They were just being themselves. They were just being human. And the most beautiful thing about these speakers, they trusted their stories and they trusted themselves. And they trusted us as the audience enough to share these vulnerable parts of their lives. And honestly, that takes an unbelievable amount of courage. Because let's be real, most of us probably do not want to get up on stage and cry in front of 400 plus people, right? That's probably not on our list of things to do. But our speakers took that risk because they cared more about telling something truthful than looking perfect. They chose presence over perfection, and you could feel it in the room. Yeah, they're brilliant human beings. Yes, the talks were incredible. Those scripts, we worked hard on them. And there aren't even words really for how good the cast was this year. But what made us connect to them wasn't just the intelligence. It was the humanity, the realness, the emotion, the stories, the quirks, the honesty, the vulnerability. One of our other speakers, Rebecca, gave this incredible talk about bees and shared a deeply personal story about her mom and her daughter, and just these beautiful moments that remind you that people are so much more than speakers, and they're so much more than just their headlines or their bios on social media. Like, these are humans with decades of experience and memories and emotions and heartbreak and wisdom. And when they're brave enough to just lay that out on a stage, not just for the audience sitting there that day, but again, for the internet, because these talks are going to go online and potentially reach hundreds of thousands or even millions of people. Like, that's next level courage. And I keep saying I don't have words, but I feel like I keep jabbing words at you. I'm just so proud of all of them. And some of my favorite moments weren't even during the talks themselves. It was afterwards. We would walk out from backstage into the common area. And when I would see audience members stop the speakers to tell them, that really hit me, that really impacted me, or thank you for sharing that. Would you come speak at our event? Would you come speak at our workplace? I get the goose pimples all over again. Something connected with them, something human connected. And that is really the beautiful thing about storytelling and community and public speaking. We're not connecting over perfection, like we're connecting to each other's humanity. So I hope that all made sense. Again, point number one, how you start is not how you finish. Transformation happens when you stay in the process. Please stay with it. Point number two, confidence comes from commitment. You get out what you put in all areas of life, my friend. It's about the effort you put in. And then the final point, audiences connect to real people, and your humanity matters more than you being perfect. And again, this is not just on a TEDx stage. These are things that can guide you throughout your entire life. Your presentations at work, posting online, launching something new, speaking up in meetings, building relationships, being with your family, being with your community, being with your kids. These things matter everywhere. And if you are somebody who dreams of becoming a TEDx speaker one day, definitely go follow TEDx Winnipeg on social media. You can also follow me over Fave Self CEO, and keep your eyes peeled for when applications open for the 2027 speaker lineup. if they'll have me back, I would absolutely love to return again as a speaker coach because I truly, truly love that world so much. And again, stay tuned too, because these talks are going to be edited and then eventually released online through the big TEDx. So everybody will get a chance to watch them or rewatch them if you were there in person. It was one of the most amazing days. Like I'm going to take all weekend to recover. And I really hope something I said made sense today, at least some sort of sense, because yeah, I'm very emotional and honestly very tired after this past week, but in the best way possible, between the rehearsals and the event itself and everybody's collective nerves and excitement and anxiety and exhilaration. It's just an emotionally charged experience, and you can really feel it everywhere, from the audience to the speakers. Oh, the speakers' families, watching their families embrace them after they were done their talk, give them flowers. Oh, it's just everything. The volunteers, just what a group. Hands down, one of the most incredible experiences I've ever been a part of. So again, if becoming a TEDx speaker is something you want to do, please apply someday. If you want to watch any of the talks from this year, stay tuned to my social media. They're going to be released and I will be sharing the heck out of them. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. While I process this whole beautiful, exhausting, emotional experience pretty much in real time with you. So have a fantastic weekend and a great week ahead, and I will talk to you next Friday.